Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from every part of the world that you're from. My name is Yetty, I'm ThatGirlYetty, and today we're having a community service as chaplains in my church. So we are out here cleaning the neighborhood. This is one of the duties of a chaplain. We give back to the community, and this is a way we can give back to the community by making the community clean. So this is the community right beside the church. And just like the Bible tells us that we need to love our neighbors, and this is the little way we can give back. This is like our CSR to our neighborhood. As you can see, everyone here is a chaplain, and we're actually cleaning, we're sweeping. We started from the traffic lights, and we're going to go down, way down past the church, and we're going to make the street clean. So watch out for a clean street in a bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with us here we have the bishop of the church, is the lead pastor, as the mother churches will call it. Is Bishop Abiola is here with us. He's the chief general chaplain, and is here with us doing this community service. Like the Bible tells us that for you to lead, you have to be first the servants. You have to serve. So he's showing us by example, by joining us. He's not just in the church office, he's right here in the field with us doing the work. And like I said, this is our CSR to the community of our church, and we are giving back by cleaning the environment. So let's keep cleaning. We have some of our lead pastors. As you can see, I said they lead by example. He's right there on the roof. While we are cleaning the streets, he's also cleaning the church roof. So this is what Christianity is all about. Service. Leadership by service. Leadership by example. So he's also a chaplain. Well done, sir, for all that you do.
Okay, so this is a disclaimer. This instruction is not a substitute for hands-on training. Like I said, a typical CPR training will take about 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so this is going to give you basically what you need, and with this training, you should be able to intervene. Next slide. Resuscitation. We are going to understand that, recognize and help a choking victim. We're going to learn that. And lastly, we are going to recognize a stroke. Very, very important. So those are 3 things we are going to learn under CPR today. Next slide. So talking about the heart. So the heart is a muscular organ about the size of a fist. Okay, I have one here. All all right? And it beats about 100,000 times a day. Okay, that's your heart beats about 100,000 times a day. It pumps about 8 pints of blood 24/7. So even though you sleep, your heart doesn't sleep. Haphazardly, the atrium first they beat, and then there's a delay before it gets to the ventricle, so that blood is pushed from one part of the heart to the other part. If there's no delay, then the heart will be contracting all at the same time, which is not what you want, because you want blood to flow from the atrium to the ventricle, and then from the ventricle out. If they are all contracting at the same time, the blood will just stay still. 790,000 people in America have a heart attack, of which 580,000 of them is the first time they're having it, and over 200,000 is like a repeated heart attack. When you look at cause of death generally, involving the heart, that means cardiac disease may not be, it may be other causes of other diseases involving the heart, but everything together, just the heart. It causes about 610,000 people to cover. Now, with COVID going down, it's back to its #1 position. But just let it know the importance of this. Next slide. Pressure, tightness, nausea, shortness of breath. Suddenly you have a cold sweat, fatigue, you feel fatigue or lightheadedness, and etc. So these are some of the signs. Some of them might look like heartburn, and that's one of the reasons why some people actually die. They have heartburn and think, oh, let me just take Maalox. Well, it may not be your normal heartburn, it actually be a heart attack that's happening and you just missed the life. And if it continues to spread and you don't do something about it, the person might go and sleep and then take Maalox and sleep. And that might be the last day. Next slide. Major ones. Okay? What they do is that they help to exchange air. You breathe in air, the air you breathe in has oxygen, a lot of it. The lungs help to make sure that the oxygen that's in the air is processed into the blood, and the carbon dioxide from all the metabolism from your body is taken out of your system. Okay? So when the heart stops, people will not have pulse, and then you need to start the heart. As long as the heart is not beating, then all the other organs will start deteriorating and death will ensue. So you want to make sure that the heart is beating so that there can be circulation all over the body, and oxygen can get to the lungs, to the tissues, and waste products can be taken out. It is recovery. Okay, the person recovers and everybody is happy. But you see, the first thing is emergency response. You find that person is unresponsive, you call 911. You start compressing. If there's an automated defibrillator, we'll talk about that shortly. You shock the person. And by the time you're doing the CPR, etc., the ambulance comes. And the people that are in the ambulance, they are trained to do what we call advanced cardiac life support. So they have things they can give. They have not just shocks, not just they have their own defibrillator, but they have also medications that they can give the patients to jumpstart the heart. And of course, they will take the patient to the hospital and it gives the patient is to find out whether the place is safe. Very, very important. Because they might be shooting, for all you know. We have only one victim, we don't want two, we don't want three. So the place has to be safe. So the first thing to look, is the place safe? Okay, the place is safe. The next thing is to find out whether the person is unresponsive. What about if he's sleeping or drunk or sleeping? Okay, you don't want to start compressing the chest of someone that is sleeping. Okay? So the first thing, are you okay? Are you okay? But what about if they are deaf? Okay, so that's why it's not just are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? So you are talking, but you are also tapping the person. Okay? Before they used to talk about doing this to try and elicit pain. But one thing I want you to learn in this CPR is that the important thing you can do for anybody is the compression. Every time you don't do anything apart from compressing the chest of that person, you are diminishing their ability to live. Only important things should stop you from compressing. Every other thing is secondary to compressing. So even when you are trying to check whether the person is unresponsive, you have 5 to 10 seconds to determine that. That's all they give you. Once you determine that the person is unresponsive and etc., the next thing is call 911. So let's say, for example, God forbid, it's a place like this. Well, you assign someone, call 911. You tell another person, get the AED. Okay, we'll talk about AED, why it's important. Next slide. So just remember this, call 911, push, and then AED is shock. Okay? By God's grace, hopefully by the end of this year, actually because of the population that we have in this ministry, we should have an AED here. Okay? The law says that if you have a patient, they are responsive, they are unresponsive, they need ambulance. Okay? So before they used to say, okay, tell someone to call 911, but let's say you are the only one there. Now just everybody has phone. So you bring out your phone. Okay? So let's call 911. You call 911 and put on speaker. This 911 is not answering.
Hello, this is 911. How can I help you?
Yes, I have someone that's unresponsive here.
Is the place safe?
Yes, the place is safe.
Where are you?
I'm in 1694 Dean Street between Schenectady and Utica.
Is it breathing?
It's not breathing.
Does it have a pulse?
It doesn't have a pulse.
Do you know how to do like CPR?
I think so. I think I have an idea.
Okay, start it. We'll be there with instruction.
Thank you. Can you see online with?
Yes.
Okay, let's assume it's online with. So whether there's any air coming through them, through their mouth, etc. That's how to see whether they are breathing or not. Now I want to say check pulse. I want you to feel your neck. You see on this side there's a muscle here. There's a muscle here. We call it sternocleidomastoid. Don't worry about the name. Just follow that muscle up to the angle of your neck, okay, and put the tip of your fingers. Can you feel any pulsation there?
Mm-hmm.
If you have felt it, raise up your hand. If you have not felt it, that means I will help you. So those muscles here, those muscles are when you sleep the wrong way and see my neck is paining me. Those muscles, yeah, just follow them up to the angle of your neck, and then put your finger here. You feel any pulse?
Mm-hmm.
If you are going this way, you are in the wrong place. You should be in front here. Okay, so just follow this up, all your assessment, and start compressions. So don't spend time. I'm still checking the pulse. If you can't feel the pulse, it doesn't have any pulse. When the person is fine, he will jump up by himself. You will know. Okay, just have advice. This guy is dead. You don't do anything about him. He's going to die. Okay, so if you can't feel the pulse, it doesn't have a pulse. It's not breathing. Start CPR. But also safety of the patient and yourself. Okay, so let the patient on their back on a hard surface. Remember the trial of Michael Jackson? One of the things we told the doctor was that he said he was doing CPR on the bed. You can't be doing CPR on the bed. Mm-hmm. The bed is soft. You need something that has to be on the. Either you put a backboard on the person, like something that is hard, or you bring the person down. It's not like you can do it on the. Let me not. We do CPR on the bed in the hospital, but we have things that support to make sure that because you are compressing the heart. Okay, we are compressing the heart. So you have to put the person on the floor. If they're on the floor, leave them on the floor. Don't try and sit them up. Okay?
If the person is flat, that means flat.
You know where the breastbone is? What we call the sternum. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your heart is behind there. Okay? Part of it extends here, but the main part of your heart is actually on the backbone. I know they tell us to put our heart put your hand on your heart, I will put it on the left side. Really, your heart is here. Okay, the heart is like this, so part of it comes out here, but the main part is under this bone. That's why you put in the middle of that chest. That's where you put your hand. So the heel of that hand here, and then you put the other hand on it, and you interlock. Notice when you're interlocking, you want to interlock with your elbows locked, because we are doing this. That's not effective. Okay, Much of all the energy you are putting in is just pressing on your elbow. You want the elbow locked so that whatever you are doing is going straight down into that chest. Okay, this part has to be locked. Okay, so that's also the reason why it's better for the patient to be on the floor, because then your weight will assist in putting pressure. And let me tell you something, you might hear some crack sound of ribs. Do not stop. The guy is dead or is dying. Okay? If you crack his rib, if he comes out with ribs cracked, fine. We can fix that. But if that heart doesn't come back, he's dead. Mm-hmm. Okay, so God might say, oh, I had his ribs was cracked and you stop. No, you are just killing the guy. Just continue. It's going down, so you are pressing. Then this heart is not compressing. When you compress, blood moves out of this heart all to the brain and other parts. When you release it, blood flows back. Okay, so if this pace keeps going down on the surface, then you're not going to be effective. It has to be hard surface below. So how low should we compress? Well, for an adult, it should be 5 cm. That's 2 inches. Okay. For children too, same thing. 5 cm, 2 inches. For infant, it's 4 cm. Okay, infant is some below 1 year. Okay? What happens is a rhythm problem. The rhythm is not working. If the rhythm is not working, the heart is not contracting. So you need something to start that rhythm, to jumpstart the heart, basically. So, you have seen some of the medical movies on TV where they show you a flat line. That means the heart is not working at all. But there are some times where the heart is beating. It's just beating like this, which means it's beating very fast, but it's not effective because a beat like this is not going to pump any blood. We call that fibrillation. Okay? So you need something to shock that heart back to beating like this. So that's what the AED does. The AEDs that are done now, they are so good. They are foolproof. Just take them out, plug them, they'll start telling you what to do. Yeah, they will prompt you. They have voice. Okay? Once you plug it, and some of them I put on, or some of them I not even have on. Once you plug it, they'll start prompting you. Okay, apply the electrodes. The electrode, I'll tell you about atrial fibrillation. That heart is just doing like this. That one is a shock. In young people, most of the time they go into arrest because they can't get air into themselves. But in adults, most arrest is because they're in fibrillation. So that's why when you call 911, they are coming with that AED because that's what is going to. Nothing's going to cause that heart to come out unless it's shocked. So that's why but while they are still getting the AED, we are trying to get the oxygen. Mannequins and Amazon messed me up. They was also bring it on the 3rd. Suddenly they just took mannequin for intubation, but I just brought it for demonstration. The one I wanted it to work on, I didn't get that here. But the pad to shock the patient, you put one up here and one down here. Why? Because you are trying to sandwich the heart in between the shocks. You want that electricity to go from here, through the heart, to here. We don't do this way because sometimes people may have pacemakers. Most pacemakers are placed up here, on the left. So we start from here and put one here. Okay? Up here, side here. You can use adult pads on young people, even on an infant. All you have to do is put one in front and put one at the back. It's an infant. You can use adult pads on kids, okay? But you can't use kids pads on adults. Okay, because the energy is different that goes through them. Okay, so just remember that if all you have is adult pads, you can use on kids. Okay, if they are children, same thing. If they are very little, one in front, one at the back. The main thing is that you want the electricity to go between the heart, to jumpstart the heart. Okay, so in the case of this mannequin here, okay, one here and one down here. Next slide. And then suddenly, I don't know whether I was talking on the phone and then it went the wrong way. It's also the child. Next slide. 3,000 people die of choking every year. Okay? That's why I tell you, don't talk while you're eating. And if they don't get to you on time, you can die within a minute. Okay? Choking is true medical emergency, and one of the things that you do to take care of that is the helmet maneuver. Okay? Next slide. So how do we attend to the person that's choking? Well, always remember the rule: before you touch people, ask them. Don't just grab on people. I think it's choking. No. Are you choking? Are you okay? Can I help you? If you guys say no, don't worry. That's it. Or if it feels too big, I think can handle things, leave it alone. If it doesn't stop, it's gonna fall down. Then at that point, it has implied consent. You have implied consent to resuscitate him. Okay? But while he's still able to tell you, I don't need your help, don't touch him. Okay? That will be assault. So if you say you can help me, then the next thing is you stand behind them. Okay? All right. I need a volunteer. Come. I don't want to tell you stand behind them, but for those of us that have been in church, it's very difficult to stand behind people because if they fall and they're bigger than you, they can fall on you. So the best thing actually is to, can you put your leg a little bit to the side? Okay. Put your leg in between their legs and you stand to the side. The idea is that you're going to do a maneuver that may help them, but what about if it doesn't dislodge and they end up slumping? You'll be able to bring them down gradually. But if you're standing right at their back, you're going to fall with them. You don't want them. Then we have two victims. Okay? So you put your leg between their leg. Okay? Make a fist with the thumb inside. Okay? Between their belly button and the lower part of their sternum. Say sternum, what is this sternum? The breastbone. Okay? Because what we are trying to do is that something is blocking the airway. Your lungs are here. We need to push that thing off from the airway. So we need to increase the pressure of the upper part so I can push. So that's why we have this between the belly button, and then we use the other hand. And you go in and up. In and up. I'm not doing it fast because I don't want her to throw up. Okay, but if she was choking, then I'm doing it in and up. You do that like 5 times, okay? And then you keep on doing. The idea is that you increase the pressure here, and whatever is blocking it flows out. So this is a baby. I've secured this baby like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I bring patient here, and then thrust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And keep on doing that. 5 until the baby brings out what is
On the sternum.
Yeah, on the sternum. On sternum. That the baby gets better or they become unresponsive. They become unresponsive, you start CPR on the baby. Now for babies, you're not going to do this on the baby. That's too much. Okay? Use 2 fingers. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. The same rhythm, the same number of time. 100 to 120 beats per minute at the ratio of 30 to 2. Okay, so every 30 times you compress, give 2 breaths. Okay, that's what the ratio means. But if you do that, in a minute, you'll be compressing that chest about 100 to 120 times. Okay? There used to be a song that used to help. It's a BG song. For those of you that are old here, after we do heart stroke. Okay? Just like you have a heart attack, I call it brain stroke is brain attack. The part of the brain does not receive blood supply. And that part starts malfunctioning. That's why you see all the features. Okay? And it's a race against time. Next slide. So, the picture on that side tells you where the stroke was. Okay? Sometimes there are different kinds of strokes. There are strokes in which is due to a clot. The clot might be because there's narrowing in that area, and just a little clot will just block it. Or it could be that the clot came from somewhere else, maybe from the leg, maybe from the heart, and then couldn't pass through that narrow part and blocks it. Sometimes stroke can be because someone has what they call an aneurysm. That means a portion of the blood vessel in the brain has a weak wall, and then suddenly burst open. Okay? So any of that, if it bursts open, that means the supply to the distal part of it, the other end, is not going to continue. That means whatever part of the brain that's supposed